Hi, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do another installment of the Maryland gun law series, and today's topic will be transporting firearms in the state of Maryland. And just a quick disclaimer, this is not covering concealed carry or open carry. This is just a basic overview of transporting firearms in the state of Maryland. The concealed carry, open carry video will be a separate video from this one, so I appreciate you stopping by, and let's go ahead and get into it. And today, just for convenience, I'm going to use pistol, a cable lock, and a basic ammo can. The reason I'm going to use pistol is just for the space that I have, and it's just more convenient for me. But the rules apply whether it's a rifle or whether or not it's a shotgun, any type of firearm that you're going to transport, the rules apply across the board. And you can also, you do not have to use a hard case. If you have a soft case, those count as well. But just for today, I'm going to use this hard case, and hopefully you like the video. And first thing we'll do, this firearm is empty, and that's very important, not just because I'm using it here in the video, but you cannot travel with a loaded firearm, period, unless you have a concealed carry permit. Like I said, this video is not about concealed carry, so this is going to be for anyone who does not have a concealed carry permit. And also, if you live out of the state of Maryland, Maryland does not recognize any other state's concealed carry or open carry permits. So when you cross over into the state of Maryland, any permit that you have in another state is invalid here. Just make sure you keep that in mind. But you have to have an empty firearm in order to transport it in the state of Maryland. So now that we know that the gun is empty, let's move on. Your magazine. You can travel with loaded magazines, but they must be separate from your firearm. You cannot travel with your loaded magazine inside your case that you're also going to put your gun in. That is a no-no. Whether it be rifle, pistol, anything, it all goes across the board. Traveling like this, even with it locked, is a violation of Maryland law. So what you would have to do is separate the firearm, make sure it's empty, separate it from the ammunition. You can, if you have empty magazines, you can keep your magazines in your magazine well, but they must be empty. I'm stressing that a lot. The firearm cannot be loaded. So you may ask, what am I going to do with my loaded magazines? And what am I going to do with the 100 rounds of 22 long rifle that I'm taking to the range with me today? Well, what you can do is, with a loaded magazine, you place it inside your ammo can, take your extra box of 223, 5.56, whatever you might be taking to the range with you that day, and put it in the ammo can. You have to close your ammo can up, and you have to latch it shut. That is proper storage. The firearm is empty and separate from the ammunition, and the ammunition is separate from the firearm. You cannot have ammo can, like a couple boxes of ammo, just laying in your trunk. They have to be in some type of container. The firearm has to be in some type of container. Once again, most of us have soft cases or hard cases for our firearms. Those are the best bets because they'll protect your firearm, they'll protect your ammunition, and a Tupperware is probably going to get you harassed by the police officer if you happen to get pulled over and they have to search your car and they open your trunk and they see that you're in a violation. So make sure you have either a soft case or a hard case for your ammunition to be separate from the firearm, whether it's shotgun, pistol, any type of firearm. Now, for a car with a trunk, and this does include cars that have lay-down back seats. The lay-down back seat does not violate the law, as long as the seats are up. The stipulation in Maryland's law is the readiness or the accessibility of the firearm. So in your trunk, you have your ammo can closed and your firearm case closed, and you can have them both in your trunk without having them locked. So you say, what if I drive a pickup truck? That goes back into readily accessible. If you have a single cab pickup truck, one of these cases must be locked. And that brings us back to the cable lock. which everybody probably has, because unless you threw them away, because every gun that you buy comes with one of these. So we probably all got drawers full of these. The cable lock, in my opinion only, is the best way to do it if you have a single cab pickup truck. Because, God forbid you get pulled over, when the police officer is looking inside the car and sees the ammo can, he's going to see this big lock. And the police officer will be able to feel secure that the firearm, at least the firearm or the ammunition, is locked. One of the two cases must be locked. The police would prefer that you have both cases locked, but legally only one has to be locked if you have a single cab pickup truck. The dual cab pickup trucks or a hatchback vehicle, the readily accessible still applies. In your back seat, your firearm is still readily accessible. Now, I'm not 100% sure, and I apologize, I wasn't able to find the information about hatchbacks, whether or not they consider the trunk of a hatchback readily accessible, or if that's like a car. In a car, you have your seat, and the trunk closes, you have to get out, pop the button, or stick the key in to get it out. In a hatchback, you can just crawl into the back seat and reach into the hatchback. So, in my opinion, I would say I'd have one of them locked. If it's in the back seat of your pickup truck, you have to have one of them locked. Back to the readily accessible part of the law. Then we also come to the reason why you're traveling with a firearm. Even if you are a law-abiding citizen that is legally in possession of a firearm, you cannot, without a concealed carry permit, carry a firearm wherever you want in your vehicle. You have to be going to a specific location, whether it's to a friend's house, whether it's to the gun range, whether it's to the gunsmith or a gun store. You have to have a specific destination in mind, and you have to be going directly there. Therefore, you can't drive around. If you're going to go to work in the morning and go to the range at night, you cannot drive around all day with your firearms in your trunk and then go to the range. That is a violation of Maryland law. It's only going to apply if you get caught and they can prove that you're not going directly where you say you're going. But then again, if you get pulled over at midnight, you're not going to a range. You're not going to be able to convince the officer that you're on your way to a specific destination. If you get pulled over at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, that's a different story. If you're looking for any more information, I encourage you to go to the Maryland State Police website. That's where I get all my information from, and I also call the Maryland State Police Licensing Division. Or you can reference Maryland Criminal Law, Title 4, Section 203. That section covers the transportation of firearms in the state of Maryland. And I will say that it's kind of hard to understand, and it's a bunch of legal speak. I read it over and over again, and I read a bunch of recommendations by lawyers. And what I also did was I called the licensing division. And in all of these videos, that's what I do to get my exact information before I put the video out, is I call the State Police Licensing Division. I wasn't able to get in touch with the licensing agent this time. For whatever reason, they didn't call me back. They're usually a lot more responsive. Maybe they're on vacation. I don't know. But I called the local barracks near where I live at and talked to the person that answered the phone. About 5 minutes on the phone, they were happy to speak to me. It didn't seem like I was annoying them or putting them out. They were glad to help me. They even said, anytime you have any other questions, call back. So I would encourage you to do that. And check the Maryland State Police website for any laws or regulations. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not an expert at gun laws by any means. I just do this research, and I put these videos out for people who might not understand or might not know, and hopefully it's a little bit of a help. So if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the section below. If there's something that I missed, ask me the question, and I'll do my best to research the answer and get back to you. So thank you for watching, and hopefully this helped.